Just hours before a massive US strike deadline that could have exploded the Middle East, President Trump suddenly pulled back, postponing planned bombing of Iran and announced a 2-week ceasefire window to try and finalize a peace deal. Markets reacted instantly. Oil reversed, crypto bounced back. And if you're holding XRP, this twist might actually have strengthened the case for what comes next. So everyone, it's Caleb here, trying to give you some updates as they come out. Everything changes so fast. So let's just get into it. This is not financial advice. Please always do your own research. But if you hold XRP, stay to the end because this geopolitical shock just demonstrated exactly the problem XRP was built to solve. So oil is kind of the real story here, right? It's surging ahead of deadline and then sharply reversed the moment the ceasefire was announced. Because when one shipping route controls 20% of global oil, well, markets they don't wait around, right? And the overall sentiment has been cautious, right? But XRP actually is showing resilience right now. And well, this is what really this is what happened tonight. President Trump issued like a firm ultimatum, right? Iran had until 8 p.m. Eastern to guarantee safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz or face large scale U.S. strikes on power plants, bridges, critical infrastructure. The clock was ticking down and markets were bracing for impact. And then, within less than 2 hours remaining, Trump's announced a sudden reversal. Surprise, surprise. Kind of the art of the deal of the guy, right? These, these these big threats, and then what do you know? It doesn't happen, and something else happens, right? So he agreed to suspend attacks for 2 weeks, calling it a double-sided ceasefire to allow negotiations to finish. This was between three parties. The ceasefire, right? It was between the U.S., Iran, and Israel. And this wasn't random. Like Pakistan stepped in as a mediator. Iran submitted a 10-point proposal. Not not that great for America. And Trump chose de-escalation for now, right? And I think the key word is for now. I don't. eh, Well, actually, we're getting word that within 30 minutes the ceasefire was broken. So that's how fast these things change, right? And you can't really just go off of these headlines, right? Like, and it was broken from Israel and Iran. They've been firing missiles at each other. So I am guessing. My guess is that tomorrow or the next day, there's going to be another big announcement. Well, we're going in and we're going to bomb everybody because they broke the thing or like they broke the ceasefire or whatever, right? I will see. I mean, hopefully they can come to an actual ceasefire, but everyone wants to get their last punch in and have the last say. I don't know. So pauses like this, though, they tell us a lot about the financial systems, right? It's like, watch how fast the markets reacted and repriced to this, right? Like oil spiked sharply on the ultimatum, but then it dropped extremely hard the moment the ceasefire hit. Bitcoin popped, then stabilized. XRP dipped briefly and then recovered fast, like all altcoins. This is important. This is important, guys. It tells you that this market is pricing geopolitics in real time. It's not emotionally, but it's structurally. It's built in. This is how these markets operate and work, right? And so when headlines hit like this, money rotates fast, and crypto often leads the next move once uncertainty clears, right? XRP's fundamentals didn't change tonight, but the environment around them did. Is all I'm trying to say, right? The environments around all these markets continue to change, and we're kind of in this weird predicament where we don't know what the heck's going to happen, right? Because you get these crazy outlandish, we're going to decimate you and you're like, there's not going to be an Iran. And then, oh, there's a ceasefire and we're coming to a peace deal. Well, oh, what happened a couple days ago? What happened, like, right? And then now we're seeing reports come in that the ceasefire is already broken. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning on the headlines what's actually going on. Moral of the story is we don't really know what's going on. That's the moral of the story, right? We get what we're fed, and we kind of have to guess and see. And then we zoom out and we start to see a different picture. But even if we zoom out like just at XRP as is, right? Historically, April's been XRP's strongest month, averaging roughly around a 20% return, and that's been going on, I think, since like 2014. It's like April's just always been a positive month for XRP. And I think we're going to actually see that. We've been in a downtrend for a long time, but during today's volatility, XRP still held key levels, right? It didn't like have a massive dump. I was wondering, well, maybe this is going to be what sends it to $1. Well, that didn't happen. So to me, it makes it seem like maybe we are going to get a green month in April, right? Maybe we will see 20, 30% boost. Who knows? I guess we're going to find out. You know, it all these things work best when it aligns with improving fundamentals, not when it's isolated, right? And right now, regulatory clarity, supply discipline, macro stresses, they're all kind of converging. And history, I know, isn't destiny, but when multiple signals line up like this, I think it just deserves attention. I think it's worth mentioning, right? So I don't know, what's your April price target for XRP? If you have one, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Ripple's April escrow release came right on schedule. Yeah. Every month, Ripple releases their escrow, 1 billion of XRP unlocked, and they usually roughly lock up 700 million, right? Ripple's been doing this for years. They fund their business this way, and it gives them, a bunch of XRP that they can give to other partners and things that want to work with them, right? So this matters a little bit more than people realize. Like predictability builds trust, right? Ripple's been doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's like, you always get these news. Oh no, 1 billion XRP got released. It's not like it's really bringing the prices down any, right? It's institutions want rules, not surprises, right? At the same time, you got the Clarity Act that remains staged for Senate Banking Committee action later this month. So let's see if they can get that going. That'd be great. I would love to see that going. A lot of talk and nothing. They keep saying they're close. They keep saying they're close. If it moves forward, it would provide long-awaited clarity, obviously, and regulatory clarity on like digital commodities, including like all these different protocols that are working, right? So predictability, supply plus legal clarity, that's exactly what large capital waits for, is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so the part that most traders may miss tonight, and what matters if you hold XRP, is everybody was focused on whether Trump bombed Iran or not, right? But I think what tonight really exposed is how fragile global liquidity still is, right? One shipping lane, one deadline, one post on social media, and oils, equities, bonds, cryptos, they all move instantly. Everybody has a freak out. That's not strength, that's stress. It's a bit crazy. Like, you got to ask yourself, like, what happens when that stress shows up in the plumbing, not just the headlines, right? These are just headlines, and markets were dipping all over the place and then bouncing back all over the place. Like, what if he really did bomb them? What if we really did go into some crazy war? Like, when oil spikes, like, inflation expectations rise, right? And when inflation rises, settlement risk rises, right? And when settlement risk rises, institutions don't want slow, expensive, multi-day payment rails. They want speed, certainty, finality, right? So that is exactly the problem XRP was built to solve, right? And so real-time settlement, low cost cross-border liquidity, right? No need to pre-fund accounts when markets are already stressed. Tonight did not weaken the XRP thesis. If anything, it validates it, right? Whether this de-escalates into peace or flares again, and well, tonight seems like it's flaring again, or maybe they hold true, and it's just whatever, a couple bombs here and there tonight, and then in 2 weeks something else, right? The message is going to be the same. The world is volatile. That's the message, right? Capital needs to move. And the faster the shock, the more valuable the bridge. And that's why XRP tends to matter most after most moments like this, like during this repricing era, right? Like, I don't know if there's going to be a flip of the switch. I don't know if there's going to be a Japan carry trade unwind. I don't know if they're just going to say, hey, XRP's on our monetary balance sheet now. Like, I don't know, right? There could be some kind of crazy event that happens. I'm all for it, right? But it's just like XRP's been holding $1.31, $1.32. Like this range, like these ranges, they matter. They tell a picture, right? Buyers are defending structure despite all this macro global noise. And if the ceasefire ends up holding, and April, typically being a good month, even like if it plays out, the market doesn't need a miracle. Like XRP can start reclaiming some of these price points, and maybe we see an XRP over $2, right? That's possible, right? So I guess we're gonna keep looking, see what happens, and I think realistically, once everything starts to settle down, we're gonna be back to the races, you know. So that's what I'm looking for. I guess we'll see. You let me know what you guys are looking for. Obviously, the biggest story today was just Trump's 8 p.m. Iran deadline, and that sudden pause that reminded markets how fast shock travels. XRP doesn't need chaos to win, though. Is my point, right? It just needs the world to remember how fragile the system really is, and I think I think the world is showing that. I think the world knows that, right? So what's your 2026 XRP price prediction? Drop your number below. I read all the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if you haven't checked out Exponential Group, just go to exponentialgroup.co. If you guys need to get some LLC formations to put your digital assets into an LLC holding company, so that you can be set up before price appreciation, well, go check out Exponential Group, and you can sign up for an LLC there. But I want you guys to stay positive, be blessed. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. But if you're finding value in this channel, throw a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.